His check-on stories we're following for you today on Robin Hood Radio. A couple of stories out of the Republican American. The first one by Bridget Ruthven. A Vermont man with a history of conflict with police was held on $60,000 bond late Wednesday after being charged with home invasion and assault for allegedly beating a neighbor and breaking into his home on Tuesday night. James Earl Hemingway, 26, has previous charges pending against him for attacking a medical technician and pushing him into traffic after fleeing from an ambulance last summer. Hemingway of Underhill, Vermont, was alternately violent, submissive, and emotional after police were called to a North Canaan home Tuesday just before 10 p.m. He was tased after failing to obey state troopers' commands and coming at them aggressively, according to the police report. Robert Russell told police he agreed to allow Hemingway to accompany him to a local supermarket where he said Hemingway then tried to steal meat but was stopped by the store manager. On the way home, he said Hemingway insisted on being delivered to another store to attempt theft. When Russell refused, Hemingway jumped from the car. Later, he kicked open the door to Russell's home and punched him, according to police. Region 1 Board of Education voted on Tuesday to open Housatonic Valley Regional High School to in-person learning effective April 19th. Students will continue to have the option to attend classes remotely. The school has been using the hybrid format since September. Principal Ian Striver also spoke about a survey that was distributed to staff, parents, and students as part of the reopening plan. Topics included physical safety, well-being of students and staff, and academic concerns. Among the concerns expressed by staff were being exposed to COVID-19, lack of student attendance, and academic performance. Parents said they are worried about the long-term social-emotional effect on remote learning students. Many students have said they're feeling stressed and mindful of their own mental health, as well as the possibility of giving the virus to other family members. Out of Great Barrington, the partial closing of Railroad Street for outdoor dining last summer was popular with a lockdown-weary public. The town is going all out this year by adding regular live music programs and stringing festive lights. But some merchants told town officials at Monday's select board meeting that removing parking and allowing traffic to flow along one side of the street was not only disruptive to some commerce, but also was dangerous. Karen Allen, who owns Karen Allen Fiber Arts, told the board that she and other merchants are asking for a compromise that would shut down the street at 5:30 on Friday and Saturday nights rather than 4 or 5, saying that before the street shut down, the hours of 4 to 6 were productive at the store, and that we had not one customer walk into our store during outdoor dining. Meanwhile, Richard Stanley, who owns several buildings downtown at the Triplex Cinema, said the outdoor dining was a hit, but he agreed that the road situation was a hazard. The town manager said the town has hired engineers to brainstorm safety fixes, including adding crosswalks so it isn't a free-for-all. The number of reported cases of COVID-19 passed 300,000 in Connecticut barely 12 months after the first virus infections were detected. 898 new cases in the state were brought on to officials by Tuesday, to the base count to 3,565, approximately 8% of the state's estimated population of almost 3.6 million people. The Public Safety Committee met on Wednesday morning voting to move forward with legislation in Connecticut that would allow the state to modernize gaming options. This comes nearly 1 week after the governor and two of the state's tribal nations announced sports betting and online gaming agreements. The bills would now go before the House of Representatives and the Senate. $52.5 million are available to protect New York farmland. The state dedicates the highest level ever of funding to protect valuable and at-risk farmland. Each of New York's 10 regions will be allocated $5 million for conservation easement projects. Eligibility opportunities expanded to agroforestry, equine, and wine sectors. The governor announced that $52.5 million is now available through the Farmland Protection Implementation Grant Program to help farmers across New York protect valuable and at-risk farmland. There's free COVID testing today in North Canaan from 1 till 4 o'clock at Town Hall. No appointment, no insurance. Forms can be completed beforehand at northcanaan.org. No ID required, and also you'll get your results within 3 to 5 days. Some other meetings coming up today in Sharon. The Energy Environment Commission has a meeting scheduled for 5:30. The Southern Berkshire Regional School District School Committee meeting will be held tonight at 6 o'clock, and that will be via remote. Proposals to regulate cannabis businesses and disallow commercial growth in the area of town will go before the Planning Board. The board will hold their public hearing. That happens tonight at 6 p.m. In Falls Village, the P&Z has their regular meeting at 7 p.m. tonight. In Sheffield, the Housing Commission has their meeting that is set for 7 p.m. tonight. All these meetings, by the way, are virtual. To get joint information, go to the town websites. Bushnell Sage Library in Sheffield presenting an animated online chess class featuring Glenn Davidson. That'll happen tonight at 7 p.m. Pre-registration is required by accessing their link at bushnellsagelibrary.com. Southern Berkshire Regional School District Regional High School Committee Negotiation Subcommittee has a meeting set for tomorrow at 2:30 via Zoom. The Super Supper happens tomorrow, the second Super Supper, at the Congregational Church on Library Street in Salisbury from 3:30 to 5:30. It's a soup takeaway supper. Supplies are limited. You're asked to order ahead by calling 860-435-4644 or emailing salisburycc21@gmail.com. Give them your name, phone number, and number of servings that will be needed. The Falls Village Recreation Commission will hold their annual Easter egg hunt at 10 o'clock on Saturday at the Lee H. Kellogg School Athletic Field. Grizzly stories, reflections of natural history, and advocacy will be presented on March 27th at 4 p.m. at the Scoville Memorial Library. More information at scovillelibrary.org. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgans at the Interlaken, interlakenin.com. You'll find them on Facebook and also on Instagram, and by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average starts off today at 32,420.06. The Nasdaq at 12,961.89, and the S&P 500 at 3889.14. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments.